prior to this, or are we skipping?
So, yes, so I thought that let Dr. Shailaja start.
Yeah, welcome to you all. I am indeed, it is an honor to have you all on board, both the dignitaries from CSIR and CSIR IICT, as well as the Cipla Foundation team. We have Dr. Shekhar Mande, DG CSIR, and Dr. Chandrasekhar, Director CSIR IICT, Dr. Dayananda, Outstanding Scientist, Head of TMD Interface. And also we have from the Cipla Foundation team, Mr. Radhakrishnan, Board Member of Cipla, and also Trustee of Cipla Foundation. And we have Ms. Rumaina Hamid, the Trustee of Cipla Foundation, the co-teams of both the organizations, the Cipla Foundation and Cipla and IICT, and also the invitees who have joined on invitation. Thank you all for joining. A very big hello to all of you. While we are sailing through this challenging time with COVID around, CSIR has actually launched an initiative called CSIR Fights Corona for mitigation of COVID by pursuing focused R&D activities on different verticals, such as new and repurposed drugs and vaccines, diagnostics and hospital-assisted devices, besides surveillance and supply chain logistics. Under the repurposed drugs vertical, CSIR IICT had collaborated with Cipla for developing process know-hows on antiviral APIs and intermediates. And you have all witnessed the recent successful launching of Ciplenza, the generic version of the COVID drug. In addition to these 5 verticals, CSIR has another important task of handling societal projects under the scientific social responsibility. And by focusing here, mainly we focus on enhancing the quality of life in rural India through socio-economic development via CSR offerings for combating COVID and also beyond. The emphasis here is on empowering a rural entrepreneur for enhancing income and catalyze the downstream development, scale up and deployment of already fairly developed technologies involving nearby social and voluntary organizations for wider dissemination of the information and utilization at grassroots level in rural areas. Having common goals between CSIR and the corporates to deploy such activities for the development and improvement of the socio-economic upliftment of the societies, and also CSIR having the entitlement to receive such funding from under CSR makes a perfect match. Actually, as an implementing agency, CSR can act, and this perfect match has brought us together to work together for the masses through technology focused deployment. So while scouting for potential partners on advice by Director Dr. Chandrasekhar from our IICT side, we were already in talks with Cipla Foundation. We were in collaboration. So what we did was we approached them to fund under the CSR with few proposals. And out of these proposals, when we approached Dr. Jain, he connected us to Mr. Anurag in the month of May, I think, if I'm right. And that was during the lockdown period. And that is when they shortlisted the MAS project. And this MAS project, then on, we have had several rounds of discussions and exchange of emails for the detailing of the proposal. So this is how we initiated, and we ended up now today after a couple of months on trying to come up with an MOU duly signed by both, executed completely, and we are today launching the project SAANS. So I'm really confident of this unique design of SAANS, which is an affordable multi-layered mask with effective barrier properties, wherein a lot of scientific principles involved, like the hydrophobicity, tortuosity, and porosity, and also the antimicrobial properties, so as to introduce this to communities, which probably is the first time ever. We might actually patent it if there is a patentability scope, and this will be an effective barrier. So another uniqueness of this project SAANS is that the sustainable and economically viable business plan that it has with multiple targeted beneficiaries, such as enhancing the income of entrepreneurs. And in the present case, it is car energy optimizers and incubator of IICT, with whom we are already engaged in other projects. A trusted partner is engaged with. And he, along with the employment generation for self-help group, we understand that this project will help in creating awareness and access to technologically advanced accessory for improving the quality of hygienic life in rural areas for mitigation of COVID. So further, we have expansion plans of reaching out on pan-India basis through transfer of know-how to NGO partners of Cipla Foundation, which will lead to a long-term relationship for scale-up and distribution over and beyond 1 lakh of masks, of which are high quality, and make it available to the needy in all nooks and corners of the country. So through this endeavor, we look forward to inculcating a hygiene etiquette in the rural communities and contribute to enhancing the quality of life in rural India. So with these few words, I would say that this is how we began, and we would like to now start our journey with the SAANS project in action. Thank you all for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Shailaja, for setting up the context on this morning on the launch of this face mask SAANS. Just wanted to let our colleagues know that this event is being available on the Facebook and live, and it will be available on the social media also. So please, widely share the link to your friends and colleagues. Now, with the context already set, now I request the head of the Cipla Foundation, Anurag Mishra, to give his initial comments and welcome remarks. Anurag Mishra, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kranti, and thank you very much, Dr. Shailaja. On behalf of Cipla and the Foundation, I formally welcome Dr. Shekhar, Director General CSIR, Dr. Chandrasekhar, Director IICT, Dr. Shailaja, and the entire team which was behind this entire project. Welcome the entire delegation who is here online, Cipla team, colleagues, friends. What a wonderful day, in the sense that I never thought that you can realize your dream in 2 months' time. In month of May, Dr. Shailaja and Cipla Foundation team connected and start discussing, and today we are sitting here to talk about how the project will move forward. So thank you very much, the entire team of CSIR and IICT, to make us realize. And I think COVID has taught us one lesson, that there's nothing else but partnership which will survive the humanity. And I think this is a beautiful depiction of how two leading organizations have come together to fight COVID. Cipla Foundation has started working on COVID long back. End of March, we started working on COVID, supporting testing labs, isolation ward, PPE kits, other support to health facility, including going to the villages and community, providing dry ration to the migrant laborers, and working very closely with panchayat. So those things already started working with an objective that one-time effort may not help. You need to sustain the effort, and that is where we realized that need of face mask is very important. And luckily during that time this proposal came to us, and we realized that this is what we need to do. Leading scientific institution with a beautiful product, scientifically validated, how it can be taken to the masses. And that is where we came together, and we realized that not only production of mask but scale up of mask is required. Cipla Foundation worked with more than 40 organizations pan-India, and we realized that this mask can be a cross fit or cross connect with all these NGOs and self-help group to take it to the rural masses. We believe that this partnership is very complementary and aligned to the ethos of what CSIR stands for and Cipla Foundation stands for. That is that whatever is being produced is accessible and affordable. That is what the theme of Cipla has been from ages, and no one knows better than IICT and CSIR with this, the product which has already been launched in COVID, and we realize now this is the time which we need to take it forward. Not to mention in detail, but face mask is something which has been repeatedly told, right from WHO to CDC, that is the only thing which can help prevent the infection. And we realize that this is something which is going to stay for a long time. While medicines are the curative part, we need to focus more on the preventive aspect, and this is where we stand today to take forward this partnership. I remember talking to Dr. Shailaja in month of May, and I think we had almost 10, 12 round of discussion, and something very unique also came out. And I give credit to MCA also, that they came up with the regulation last year to allow funding to research institution. I think this is also one of its kind partnership where CSIR Institute and corporate foundation have come together to take forward the technology or the innovation which is happening in the lab to the masses. So I think this is a start of a new era in a corporate world where institution can come together and take forward those technology. We also are very keen to take forward this project with our partner organization, and I'm very happy to say that 3 partner organization, HelpAge India, you might be knowing, world acclaimed and nationally quite known organization who work in rural areas. Number two is Ambuja Cement Foundation, a quite a grassroots based corporate foundation which has spread out in multiple states and work with villages. And third is Mandeshi, which is credited with having first women bank. So they work with self-help group. Now these three organizations have shown interest in this project, and we are now thinking of signing a tripartite MOU with IICT, Cipla Foundation, and these NGOs to take forward this march. Why Dr. Shalja did mention that 1 lakh is our target, but then we are looking at much more beyond that through these organizations. So once again, thank you very much to entire IICT team, CSIR, for guiding us, bringing this innovation, and we look forward for more such collaboration in time to come, which can address public health issues and challenges around it. So thank you very much, and now I would request Dr. Shekhar to guide us, inspire us, and let us know how we can further take this forward. Dr. Shekhar.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Mishra, for your kind words. And Chandra, Shailaja, all the colleagues and friends of IICT, friends of Cipla Foundation, it's a great pleasure for me to be able to be present on this particular occasion today. Just for a few words of history to all my colleagues and friends in CSIR in IICT. I wonder how many of you have heard of Dr. Khwaja Abdul Hamid. That is the father of Dr. Yusuf Hamid. He was a great visionary himself, and he proposed in 1927 formation of Industrial Technology Institute or something, or Institute of Technology Research or some kind of a name in 1920s. And being under a foreign rule, that particular suggestion was not taken up very seriously. And the suggestion was eventually only dug up more actively in 1940 when Arcot Ramaswamy Mudliar came into being. Arcot Ramaswamy Mudliar was, of course, a member of British Commerce Council, and he was very ably assisted by Dr. Abdul Khwaja Hamid in proposing this particular concept. And there was born CSIR in 1942. So we are greatly indebted to the Hamid family for having taken so much interest in CSIR from the beginning. Not only that, Dr. Abdul Khwaja Hamid was a very distinguished member of CSIR's governing body right from its inception for about 20 years or so. So we have actually benefited enormously by the Hamid family over the years in the contributions that you have made to CSIR. More recently, when the world was struggling to make HIV drugs affordable in the 1980s, that's where we actually also cemented our partnership even further. We came very close, and a lot of things actually we evolved together, and that actually made India known globally as the powerhouse of all the generic pharma and so on and so forth. And that's once again, the Hamid family has stood by the people of India in making all of us very proud. And we are very proud that CSIR has been so closely associated with the entire Hamid family over the years. What we look forward to is only cementing our relationships even further. As we are passing through a very testing time, I don't have to go into the details of the corona, but even otherwise, when the public perception of science and technology is probably not very high, and the public support for science and technology is kind of dwindling, we hope that we continue our relationships with many of the private firms that we have been associated with over the years, the Tatas, the Hamids, and so on and so forth, and make sure that the innovations that the science and technology institutes or the organizations such as CSIR, they bring on board are eventually translated for the benefit of the larger society of India. And our population is very close to our heart, and all our innovations we strive to make sure our population would benefit by these kind of innovations. And therefore, we are looking forward to working also with the Hamid Foundation, the Cipla Foundation, in the coming time, even more closely. I would just like to state one small aspect is that recently the Corporate Social Responsibility Act was modified so that even R&D can be supported in the public organizations such as DAE, CSIR, and so on and so forth. And perhaps we could also explore some avenues of working together through the corporate social responsibility, if the Cipla Foundation were so willing to sit together and see what kind of R&D would benefit our people directly or maybe indirectly. And perhaps some kind of R&D can be undertaken so that our population benefits at large. Thank you so very much for your very generous support, for your CSR support today for distribution of masks and so on and so forth. And we do hope that we live up to the expectations of the Cipla Foundation in translating this for our own people. Thank you all so very much.
Anurag, over to you.
So thank you very much, Dr. Shekhar, and thank you for your time and your inspiring word. And we are very sure that, this is just the start of partnership. And in time to come, we will find more avenues where public health, and as you rightly mentioned that, communities are very close to our heart, how we can, assist, how we can collaborate and take it to the masses. So thank you very much for your kind presence and your word of inspiration. I would not request Dr. Sridhar to present the entire project or the face mask project which we are talking about. It gives a good insight to how the project has been conceptualized and how and why this entire mask project is very unique, not in terms of its scientific rigor, but also in terms of costing. Over to you, Dr. Sridhar.
Share screen. Respected dignitaries from both CSIR and Cipla, it's indeed a pleasure to be here amongst all of you and present this work that we have been doing since.
Dr. Sridhar, you are not audible.
It's useful as good barriers for masks. And this endeavor began in March, and then we have been continuing in this mode. And then, as we all know, the coronavirus transmission, it occurs from the mostly the respiratory droplets, and we also have the like airborne aerosols, which are also causing the infections. And so to prevent the respiratory droplets from entering into the nasal cavity and the mouth, so we have planned a multi-layer configuration with more than one hydrophobic material and a hydrophobic layer. And then the essentiality of the mask is already well known, and then the countries that have been following this mask wearing culture have lower fatalities per million population. And so it's very important that the population wears the mask. And this project further strengthens the CSIR, IICT and Cipla relationship. And our directors group has already prepared the favipiravir, remdesivir drugs, antiviral drugs, which are being produced by Cipla. And so the other response to the COVID has been the community protective equipment. And in this, multi-layered masks and face shields have formed the basis. And the criteria has been to provide adequate protection, but at the same time washable texture, so that we do not choke our drains with use and throw masks. Then at the same time, the mask should be breathable, and they should be affordable and comfortable to the wearer, because he has to wear for at least a period of 8 hours while working or while going out to the different places. So the objectives of this study has been to introduce a high quality, affordable mask to the community for mitigation of the COVID, and enhance the income of entrepreneurs and generate employment for both self-help groups and NGOs and village communities. And then the scale up for expansion of beneficiaries on a pan-India basis by involving NGOs associated with Cipla. And in this regard, we have taken the help of Khar Energy for the mass production in the first phase. And as we all see, as our director has told me, so the multi-layer mask was configured in such a way that through not only molecular sealing, but also high contact angle, that is no wetting of the mask, and also electrostatic repulsion. So 3 basic mechanisms for rejection of the pathogens and allow the purified air to come through. And as we can see, the hydrophobicity plays a major role because the contact angle is very high and there is a minimum penetration pressure that is required for the respiratory droplet to go through the mask, especially when there are two different hydrophobic layers. I'll play a small video clip on this now. So the first layer is co-extruded layer. Then we have a unique textile layer. Then again another hydrophobic layer. Then we have another textile layer. Along with hydrophobicity, very tight porosity, tortuous path, that is a strenuous path for the droplets to travel. Testing for air permeability and comparing with other masks. The membrane is fixed in the cell here and we check the air permeability. So we can see that it is 2.2 times greater than the air permeability is greater than the normally used masks. Water permeability is lower, which means that there is more safety against respiratory droplets. Then flame test, that was a preliminary one to see whether the droplets will come out and extinguish the flame or not. Then in the beginning, the hydrophobicity test for both the layers. This is the front layer and we can see nothing is seeping through. And this is the third layer. Like a lotus leaf, it behaves, droplet. Different masks have been designed with both ear loops as well as loops around the head and neck. The technology was transferred to Car Energy for mass production. The anticipated outcome is such that each mask should be able to save, at least wearing a mask will save around 406 people, hopefully. That is what is expected. And this is a comparison of the IICT mask, CSIR IICT mask with other masks in the market with respect to comfort and cost. And this is the different other properties, including tortuosity and reusability, especially. Our director always said that mask should be washable. And this is the work going on at the membrane lab for making different mask configurations. And these are the different models that were made. And then this was the Car Energy contribution. Then with the instructions of our director, we could serve some of the COVID warriors like policemen and the supporting staff in hospitals and the municipality workers and the common man as well. And and also 3 different states we have covered, including Maharashtra, Ahmednagar, and also West Godavari in Andhra Pradesh. And this is the anticipated outcome already shown. And we hope that the population will benefit from this venture, and we look forward to working with Cipla. And the leading lights of this project have been Dr. D. Sailaja, the head of the BDRM division, and Mr. Anurag Mishra. And I would like to thank all the dignitaries and from both CSIR and Cipla for supporting this venture. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sridhar, for this presentation. I think this gives more detailing about the science behind the mask. And I believe that other than N95 or medical mask, a common mask doesn't go through such rigorous test, which has been done by IICT, and that too at a very affordable cost. So we believe that this would be one of its kind mask in terms of rigor and in terms of, and best part is usability. We are talking about 2-month to 3-month usage with features of washability. So thank you very much for this detailing. I would now like to welcome Ms. Rumana Hamid to share her insight and her detailing on this entire project. And just to update, Rumana is a managing trustee, and she has been the guiding force for the entire foundation. The project which we are doing and what we have done in past, she has been the key force behind the conceptualization and implementation, and has been very actively involved in the functioning of foundation. Over to you, Romana.
Thank you, Anurag. And also thank you to Dr. Sridhar. That was very comprehensive, very informative. And I'm sure that people watching your PPT understood both the science and the service behind the mask. And that's why for me here today, this is an extremely unique event with so many esteemed guests, especially Dr. Shekhar Mande, Dr. Chandrasekhar, Dr. Shailaja. Thank you for your very kind words on both Cipla and the Hamid family. Very, very much appreciated and touched and honored to be working with all of you and to have such a unique partnership between the two of us who have such a rich history and hopefully have a very bright future ahead of us. As you all know, and I don't need to repeat, Cipla is built on the values of caring for life. And we are guided by that purpose, not only at our business, but in our foundation. It is helping us stand strong against COVID, but it is also helping us every single day to serve the communities that we work for at the foundation. And taking our vision ahead is this partnership. It is allowing us to serve our communities. And that's why we are so grateful to be working with such a respected organization for whom the development of society and the nation is one and the same. You know, our Prime Minister has called out for Atmanirbhar Bharat, and I can think of no better example than the project that we have embarked on today. And I am not only grateful, I'm extremely hopeful that we will make this a pan-India project. And in the year to come, this will be the best defense we all have, both against COVID, standing tall together. There's nothing we can't do. So I thank everyone for making it possible and really looking forward to the future. Back to you, Anurag.
Thank you very much, Romana, for that kind words. And I think that further cement what Dr. Shekhar earlier mentioned, we need to keep cementing our partnership. I will now request Dr. Chandrasekhar to address the audience, and very much thankful to Dr. Chandrasekhar because it is under his guidance and able leadership that not only the mask was invented and tested, but now we are seeing a light of partnership and taking it to pan India. So over to you, Dr. Chandrasekhar.
Yeah. Thank you, Anurag. Thank you, Romana, Hamid. It has been a great pleasure working with Cipla. Has been a dream actually working with Cipla. I joined as a JRF research scholar in IICT several years ago.
Can you unmute your video, sir? Everyone would love to see you.
There's a problem on the internet today. There is a big tree falling on my campus, and internet is a problem. So,
now.
Yeah. So thank you, Romana. Thank you, Anurag. And it's all a dream for me that I should associate Dr. Hamid very closely. And I remember 1986 when I joined as a student in RRL Hyderabad those days. Dr. Hamid personally walked into my lab. And that's the time we started working with Dr. Hamid on many generic drugs with Dr. A.V. Ramarao as a guide and I as a student. And now that Dr. Ramarao and Hamid continue to cherish their friendship, Dr. Hamid has shown same affection on me also. And he gave us opportunity to work on Favipiravir and Remdesivir, which all of you know that have brought Cipla and IICT on the limelight and bringing affordable healthcare to the people. But now thanks Sridhar and Dr. Romana that now we don't want citizens to go to treatment level. I think if the mask is good, hopefully they don't need the medication. So I think prevention is the best. And thanks Sridhar that you bought the best technology, and Anurag and Romana that you are kind enough to come and work with our startup companies who are on the call also. And hopefully this technology will go to masses, and this mask will at least minimize the patient load in the hospitals and stuff like that. But certainly, Romana, I think we have many other things to do under this corporate social responsibility and science responsibility also. As we scientists also have some responsibility to the society. And COVID has, while treated very badly initially, but also has brought all of us together onto these platforms to work together as one family. I do believe that Cipla Foundation and IICT would bring more activities closer to the public, and also make sure that the public will benefit at large. Thank you, Romana. Again, thank you, Anurag. Thank you, Shailaja, and all other colleagues who are on the call today.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chandrasekhar. And what a apt saying that, people may not need medicine if people are actually wearing face masks. And so right, right from WHO to CDC, everyone is saying things. So I think this is one of our humble effort to ensure a 360-degree approach to the healthcare.
Yeah, I only just like to sense that Anurag just make a comment that while foundation is working against the Cipla drugs, actually.
It's a combined effort.
So I will put it like this, saying that Cipla Foundation is nothing but a reflection of what Cipla is. Cipla has completed 85 years. We are 8 years old. And we believe that, when you say health, and Dr. Hamid keeps saying now healthcare is all about compassionate healthcare. You can't run business. It is all about compassion. And, we have a very distinguished guest within this today's forum, Mr. S. Radhakrishnan, who is a board member of Cipla and a mentor to Cipla Foundation. And he knows everything much better than any one of us in terms of what Cipla has been in terms of humanity and serving society. So I would request Mr. Radhakrishnan to say a few words for this the launch for this project.
Sir, thank you for your kind words. Appreciate. And I'm delighted to be here and delighted in the manner in which I'm here, because I'm in the comfort of my study with all these distinguished guests. Of course, this is the rare thing that COVID has taught us to do more efficiently, and one is really very, very happy here and really happy to be amongst some of the best scientists in India. I think before I come to anything in this project, I must salute and congratulate all of you all. You all have played a great role in combating this COVID, and no less a warrior for me in combating this kind of a pandemic. And I think we need your expertise and knowledge much more before we really accomplish victory over this pandemic. So thank you very much, each one of you doctors and scientists. God bless you all. I also am very happy to to be seeing this entire function and the way we have progressed in our engagement. Cipla's engagement with IICT opportunity is in two fronts. One is the favipiravir drug, and now the low-cost, high-quality face mask, which is a unique representation of our holistic approach to public health crises like COVID-19. And we are thankful to CSIR, IICT for this unique partnership. In fact, I did not understand the complication, the technology which may have been required to go under the mask. It was a revelation. Obviously, when we said mask and we can make it at home, we really didn't understand. At least I didn't understand what effort and knowledge and science has gone behind making of this, and to come out with a product which is so affordable. Well done. And in today's time where we are faced with global health crisis, this effort and partnership will, as between these two organizations, will represent a joint force to tackle this pandemic. This is definitely a time to pool our experiences, knowledge, and skills with the same rigor and discipline to combat this crisis. Today, Cipla, I must also say, is like always in the forefront of the fight against COVID-19 in providing a spectrum of drugs, including remdesivir, tocilizumab, and of course, favipiravir with your guidance. And now to be complemented by this unique face mask, I think all of us are very proud that we're all doing our bit against this COVID pandemic. I'm hoping that this partnership will continue and lead to more such association, both in the scientific space and the CSIR space. I once again thanks Dr. DG CSIR, Director General CSIR, Mr. Shekhar, Director IICT, Mr. Chandrasekhar, and all key dignitaries, senior management of IICT, all partner organizations and attendees of today's program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Radhakrishnan. And I would just add that, Cipla and the foundation believe that health is all about preventive, promotive, and curative. And I think we are touching all three aspects by including this project as part of overall action towards COVID. So thank you very much again. I would request Dr. Dayanand, who is from CSIR, joined us. Thank you very much, sir, for joining this event. I would request a few words from you on this unique partnership.
Yeah, very good morning to all of you. And my greetings to the entire team of Cipla Foundation and CSIR scientists. I'm really very happy to be here And I can see that there is enormous amount of respect for each other's value system. We have a value system which you recognize and respect, and you have a value system which we recognize and respect. And when there is a lot of commonality in this value system, the partnership becomes very enduring. And I really look forward to a very enduring and sustained partnership between Cipla and CSIR. It will be even more fulfilling when actually this mask reaches the field and we get a glimpse and we get the feedback of the utility of this mask. That is really the more fulfilling time. That is really the more fulfilling event for all of us. So I look forward to that, and I wish my scientist colleagues all the best in their endeavors. I am sure with this spirit of cooperation between CSIR and Cipla, we can do many, many more things in the corporate social responsibility arena. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dayanand. And what a beautifully wording you put in. Then it's all about value system. And we believe, and foundation strongly believe that partnership is all about value system. I think the financial comes in the last. And we are very sure, I and Dr. Shailaja jointly are very sure that what you said, that we need a feedback, how the mask is used in the field, how it reaches to the end audience. I think that's the goal. And we are very sure that maybe in 3 months, 6 months down the line, we would be very happy to host another forum like this to demonstrate what we have done in 6 months.
That is what I look forward to.
Dr. Shailaja, assurance from both of us. And, thank you very much again for this inspiring work.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Kranti, I would request a vote of thanks from you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Anurag. And first of all, I wish to thank Dr. Shekhar Mande, Secretary DSIR and Director General, CSIR, for his very, very, touching remarks, and specifically, giving us that information that how Dr. Hamid and his father, they were associated with the institution and to a greater extent responsible for the birth of this institution. And after so much of time, we are here again for that. So thank you, Dr. Shekhar, to sharing that personal, experience with you. I have special thanks to Dr. Chandrasekhar. Under your leadership, sir, we are developing this and having this great partnership with there. I also thank Dr. Shailaja, who has been spearheading in and given us immense time and been very, very patient to a lot of, probably some nonsense questions from us. But she has been very patient, guiding all her colleagues and bringing this partnership a reality. I'm also thankful to Dr. Sridhar, the principal scientist, going into such a meticulous job. I've been going through, in spite of, repeated questions from our side also to ensure that the scientific validity, we don't have any loops in that and we leave no stone unturned to ensure that this is really a scientific validated, mask. So thank you, Dr. Sridhar, and all your colleagues, all your scientists and young scientist colleagues at your end. I would also like to thank, Romana, like Dr. Shekhar said, the kind of legacy the Hamid family brings in. So she has been a tower of strength for all of us colleagues at foundation where we are working. And not only a tower of strength, but at most of the time she keeps us inspiring also. And this is how we also imbibe that kind of passion and value system within the foundation, within all of us. Another towering personality, I wish to thank Mr. Radha, who is a trustee and keeps a close vigil whether our values and passion doesn't fall under its target. So thank you for your time, all the dignitaries, and thank you so much, Dr. Dayananda, who in the value gave us and told us about the importance of the value system. I also thank a lot of the colleagues at the CSR who I could not name, who are tirelessly working for last 2 months on this. And I also thank my colleagues at Foundation, my legal team, my communication team, my finance team, all our colleagues are working very hard to make this as a reality. And this is a beginning. And from here, we will now move forward to develop this mask and probably have, like Anurag said, probably have one more time when we scale this mark. So I once again thank you for all your being present in this today morning. And this is available on your Facebook, which you could have been shared. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.